Elvis Presley died more than 4 decades ago now, he's nevertheless still a huge star. In fact, the king of rock and roll has remained one of the most popular and influential figures in music ever since he left the building for good in 1977. Here's a look at how his daughter helped to extend his legacy even further with a poignant tribute. A rockabilly pioneer. Born in the Mississippi town of Tupelo in 1935, Elvis took to music in his late teens with recording sessions at the legendary Sun Records in Memphis, Tennessee. There, he helped to pioneer a sound known as rockabilly, a high-tempo blend of R&B and country music. However, Elvis' career truly took off after he signed with manager Colonel Tom Parker. Provocative performances. Then, a year later, the man who would eventually be known as the King topped the charts for the first time with his debut single, Heartbreak Hotel. He quickly became the face of the burgeoning rock and roll movement, too, thanks to his high-energy material and a hip-swiveling performance style many considered provocative. His rising popularity. Elvis also became a star of the big screen, with his first acting appearance in 1956's Love Me Tender. Although he didn't have the lead role in that film, something that would never happen again to the star, his immense fame, was clear. The title of the film changed to Love Me Tender just a month before its release because of Elvis' popular song of the same name. Hit after hit. Although a 2-year stint in the military briefly derailed Elvis' thriving career, he nevertheless picked up where he left off on his return in 1960 with a string of #1 hits. However, under the advice of his manager, the star rarely performed live for much of the decade, choosing instead to concentrate on his Hollywood career. A triumphant stage comeback. Eventually, though, Elvis made a triumphant stage comeback in 1968 with an iconic TV special. A successful residency in Las Vegas followed, as did Aloha from Hawaii, a live show beamed to millions across the world. By this point, Elvis was by far and away one of the most successful solo artists in recording history. The Lifetime Achievement Award. And Elvis' career sales total of an estimated 1 billion shows just how astonishingly popular he was and remains. The legendary musician also currently holds the records for the highest number of Billboard 200 entries, cumulative weeks at the top of the U.S. Hot 100 and British chart-topping singles. He also has 3 Grammys to his name, and that's not even to mention the Lifetime Achievement Award he was given at the age of just 36. Gone too soon. Sadly, the Elvis story came to a tragic end when he passed away in 1977, aged 42. The King was found dead in his bathroom in his Graceland home by his girlfriend, Ginger Alden. An autopsy revealed that the star, who had battled a prescription drug addiction for years, had 14 different substances in his system at the time of his death, his only child. And Elvis was survived by his one and only child, Lisa Marie. Born in Memphis, Tennessee, in 1968, the daughter of the King and actress Priscilla Presley witnessed her parents' divorce when she was only 5 years old. She subsequently grew up with her mother and later became the sole inheritor of her father's $100 million estate. From Kiev to Jackson. And in 1994, Lisa Marie made headlines herself when she unexpectedly married the king of pop, Michael Jackson. That union wasn't to last, though, as 2 years later, she filed for divorce on the grounds of irreconcilable differences. Lisa Marie had previously spent 6 years married to musician Danny Keough, the father of her son Benjamin. 4 marriages later. Seemingly undeterred, Lisa Marie walked down the aisle again when she wed Oscar-winning actor Nicolas Cage in 2002. But her third marriage was even shorter than her second, with Cage filing for divorce after just 108 days. Then, 4 years later, Lisa Marie made music producer Michael Lockwood her 4th husband. The pair had twins Harper and Finley in 2008 before splitting in acrimonious circumstances in 2016, following in Elvis' footsteps. Meanwhile, Lisa Marie followed in the footsteps of her father in 2003 when she launched her own music career. Her first studio effort, To Whom It May Concern, peaked at #5 in the US, and spawned a Billboard Hot Adult Top 40 chart hit in the shape of Lights Out. Featuring a guest appearance from Pink, Lisa Marie's 2005 sophomore album, Now What, also reached the top 10, the posthumous duet. And Lisa Marie went on to release a third LP, Storm Grace, in 2012. After that, though, her musical career seemed to be in stasis. Then, in 2018, it was announced that Lisa Marie had recorded a posthumous duet with her father. Title track Where No One Stands Alone appears on an album featuring newly reworked versions of Elvis' best-loved gospel hits. Their impressive vocals. Elvis' vocals for the record were largely taken from his LPs How Great Thou Art and He Touched Me, released in 1967 and 1972, respectively. Tracks on Where No One Stands Alone, meanwhile, include You'll Never Walk Alone, Crying in the Chapel, Amazing Grace, and He Touched Maine. And the new album peaked at number 22 on the Billboard 200 after its first week on sale. A Family Affair. The 93rd official compilation to be released since the King's death also featured contributions from Cissy Houston and Darlene Love, both of whom had performed with Elvis in the late 1960s. Several members of Elvis' regular backing band, The Stamps, guested on the record too. And, of course, Lisa Marie's appearance on the record attracted some attention. The lyrics touch my soul. In the album notes, Lisa Marie revealed how honored she was to be a part of the project. She said, "It was a very powerful and moving experience to sing with my father. The lyrics speak to me and touch my soul. I'm certain that the lyrics spoke to my father in much the same way. His gospel roots." Lisa Marie also claimed that her father would have approved of the compilation's gospel theme. She said, "This was his favorite genre, no question about it. He seemed to be at his most passionate and at peace while singing gospel. He would truly come alive whether he was singing just for himself and me at home or on stage in front of thousands of fans. As natural as dancing." And one particular interview with the man himself appears to back up Lisa Marie's claims. "Since I was 2 years old, all I knew was gospel music," Elvis reportedly once said. "It became such a part of my life, it was as natural as dancing. Gospel was a way to escape my problems and my way of release." Her rare recording. Of course, this isn't the first time that Lisa Marie has appeared on record with her father. In 1997, for example, she commemorated the 20th anniversary of Elvis' death by recording a posthumous duet for a tribute concert. However, this new version of Elvis' 1969 top 10 hit, Don't Cry Daddy, wasn't available commercially. Her gift to her father. But the posthumous duet Lisa Marie recorded to coincide with the 30th anniversary of Elvis' death did receive a release. In the Ghetto. Was accompanied by a video filmed in New Orleans, and Lisa Marie later performed the track alongside the Harlem Gospel Choir and classic footage of the King on The Oprah Winfrey Show. Guided by Elvis. Meanwhile, during a British TV interview to promote Where No One Stands Alone, Lisa Marie spoke about feeling Elvis' presence. She explained, "I can sort of pull out of the files whatever memories I have and stuff like that, and occasionally ask for help, which was the case with this record." Elvis' spiritual presence didn't only comfort Lisa Marie, but guided her too. An accurate portrayal. She said, "I just felt like a hand came down to me. It felt like that a little bit." Lisa Marie felt Elvis' presence yet again when she first saw the 2022 film Elvis, a biopic based on her father's life story. "Austin Butler channeled and embodied my father's heart and soul beautifully," she wrote on Instagram. "In my humble opinion, his performance is unprecedented and finally done accurately and respectfully. And Elvis would be very proud." And in January of 2023, just days before her death, she commented at the Golden Globes about what the film has meant to her. "I'm so proud. And I know that my father would also be very proud," she said. When Lisa Marie suddenly passed away from a heart attack just a few days later, it made her recent comments even more haunting. Lisa Marie's legacy. Lisa Marie also wrote that the film was something she and her kids could be proud of forever, and her words carry an extra weight now that she's gone. Whenever Lisa Marie's children Riley, Harper, and Finley watched the film or listened to their mother's duets with their grandfather, They won't only be reminded of their grandfather's impact, but their mother's as well. Grief plays a huge role in the film, as it does in the lives of Lisa Marie's children. They were already grieving. Elvis was devastated when his mother Gladys, with whom he was very close, passed away in 1958. Lisa Marie had to overcome a similar loss when Elvis died in 1977, and now Riley, Harper, and Finley have to grieve their mother. Lisa Marie and her children were already grieving the loss of Lisa Marie's son, Benjamin, who died suddenly at 28 years old. Rock and roll royalty. Benjamin, who bore a striking resemblance to Elvis, tragically died in 2020. His passing came after decades of loss in the Presley family, something Lisa Marie spent much of her life grappling with. Thankfully, her life didn't begin with tragedy. When she was born on February 1, 1968, her parents couldn't have been happier. It was the best of times. Priscilla wrote about Lisa Marie's birth in a 1985 piece for People. Our daughter, Lisa Marie, was born at 5:01 p.m. on Feb. 1, 1968, she explained. The nurse brought Lisa Marie into my room, and I cradled her in my arms. She was so tiny, so beautiful. And Elvis was pretty pleased with the new arrival, too. All shook up. Priscilla continued. Elvis came into the room and kissed me, thrilled that we had had a perfectly normal, healthy baby. Then he took us both in his arms and held us. This was a marked change of attitude from how he'd apparently felt about the baby just a few months before. Priscilla revealed that Elvis had asked for a trial separation while she was 7 months pregnant. Standing trial. Priscilla wrote of this period, I don't think Elvis really intended to leave me. It wasn't his style. I later realized he had questions about how a baby would affect his life. Would his public accept him as a father? He wasn't even sure if his fans had adapted to his becoming a husband. How loyal would they be? Luckily, the decision to split was soon reversed. Happy families. She went on, within a short time, Elvis' sensitive nature brought him back to his senses. 2 days had passed. The idea of a trial separation was never mentioned again. We both acted as if nothing had been said. Unfortunately, though, the happiness brought by Lisa Marie's birth was not to keep the family together forever. An absent father. As Lisa Marie grew, Elvis started spending more and more time on the road. Priscilla wrote in her 1985 book, Lisa and I visited him in Vegas for her birthdays, having huge parties in the suite where she received everything from slot machines to 2 St. Bernard puppies, to an entire room filled with balloons, everything, in short, a 2 or 3-year-old shouldn't have and couldn't appreciate. Trouble in paradise. Priscilla went on for People, I realized that now that I was a mother, Elvis was uncertain how to treat me. He had mentioned before we were married that he had never been able to make love to a woman who'd had a child. And sadly, the couple's problems continued to grow from there. Finally, then, Elvis and Priscilla officially divorced on October 9, 1973. Lisa Marie deals with the fallout. Both parents would go on to share custody of their young daughter, and the two were seemingly fine with this arrangement. Our principal concern was Lisa, whose custody we agreed would be mutually shared, Priscilla wrote. Then, just 4 years after the end of the marriage, Elvis tragically died. Lisa Marie was just 9 years old when her father passed away. A good parent. Yet despite the turmoil that racked Elvis' life, his daughter would always remember him as a good parent. For instance, during a 2007 appearance on Good Morning America, Lisa Marie told Diane Sawyer, he'd always wake me up to sing in the middle of the night, get on the table and sing. I remember him as my dad, but he was a very exciting dad. I did a lot of strange things. Lisa Marie also explained that, after Elvis had passed away, she couldn't really process what was happening, and apparently one moment was a real struggle for the young Lisa Marie, the time when she had had to view her father's body. Lisa Marie said, I did a lot of strange things that day because it didn't really settle in. I rode my golf cart. I ran around and smoked cigarettes at 9 in the guard shack somewhere. I was crazy. I don't know, I did like wacky things. $1 Million Baby. So there's no doubt that Lisa Marie's childhood was far from ordinary. For one, owing to all the money that her famous father had amassed throughout his life, she grew up as the heir to a vast fortune. And after her grandparents, Vernon and Minnie, passed away and she turned 25, the young woman was worth $100 million, striking out on her own. Lisa Marie's childhood was unconventional, but her adulthood saw her embark on a common rite of passage marriage, and in the end, Elvis would have 4 grandchildren whom he would never know. The first 2 came from Lisa Marie's relationship with musician Danny Keough, whom she wed in 1988. These children were Danielle Riley Keough, born in 1989, and Benjamin Storm Keough, who entered the world in 1992. Staying close. Lisa Marie divorced Danny in 1994 when Benjamin was still a toddler, although the former couple remained good friends. In 2003, she told the Star Tribune, "I don't know how, but we've managed to stay close. There's others that I have pain or betrayal associated with that I won't have anything to do with. But Danny and I had a special thing. Same but different." During her 2007 Good Morning America interview, Lisa Marie considered the similarities that Benjamin and Riley, the name Danielle Riley chose, shared with their famous grandfather. She said, "They both have traits. My son has got this very regal thing about him. He's just got this dynamic energy that is familiar. And then my daughter, just the humor, you know. She's got the intelligence, and she's smart, although I find her more like my mother than I do Elvis." More marriage. After splitting from Danny, Lisa Marie went through a chaotic period in her life. A mere 20 days after the divorce went through, she married Michael Jackson, a decision that she would later claim to regret. In a 2007 interview with Marie Claire, when asked what her biggest mistake so far had been, the star said, "Leaving my first marriage for the person that I left it for. Protecting her kids." Lisa Marie even considered having kids with Jackson, although she ultimately decided against it. In 2010, she told Oprah, "I was looking into the future, and I was thinking I don't ever want to get into a custody battle with Jackson. I don't want to go head-to-head with him, so I need to make sure that everyone around is good. I know. I've had children. I knew bringing children into certain circumstances, you have to make sure everything's safe and secure and okay. In a cage. In a cage." In 2002, Lisa Marie married for the 3rd time to actor Nicolas Cage, who is reportedly a massive Elvis fan. The then 13-year-old Riley served as the flower girl, while Benjamin, along with Cage's young son Weston, were page boys. At the time, the media also speculated that Lisa Marie was pregnant with Cage's baby, but she was not. Another divorce. However, the marriage lasted barely any time at all. The pair were wed in August, and in November of the same year, Cage filed for divorce. In fact, the divorce proceedings ended up lasting longer than the couple's union. It was May 2004 when the paperwork finally went through. But Lisa Marie wasn't through with finding love. Michael Lockwood. Seemingly undeterred, Lisa Marie married her 4th husband, producer Michael Lockwood, in 2006. The wedding was held in Japan, with Danny Keough as the best man. Then, 2 years later, the 40-year-old Lisa Marie announced that she was pregnant with twins after newspapers had started criticizing her weight gain. New life. By the time the 2 new children were born in October 2008, Riley was 19 years old and Benjamin was 15. The babies, both girls, were named Harper Vivienne Ann and Finley Aaron Love. In fact, twins are common within the Presley family. Elvis had a stillborn twin brother, and Priscilla has a half-brother who was a twin too. A tight-knit family. Lisa Marie now had a big family of her own. In 2009, she spoke about her life and her children on the Oprah Winfrey Show. She was still very close to Danny, she revealed, saying, "I knew that no matter what happened, we would always be connected. And I don't know how I knew that at such a young age, but I instinctively knew that and had those children with him. And we are like best friends, brother and sister." Danny stuck around. In the interview, Lisa Marie explained that Danny actually lived on the same property as her. She added, "It's hard to have that kind of relationship with your ex. But I think it's very important if you have children with somebody to keep your responsibility. You don't need to put what you guys went through or what you had with each other on the children. All-consuming love. Oprah asked Lisa Marie, "What do you think you're best at as a mother?" She answered, "Just overwhelming my children with affection and love. They need to push me off of them. And then having that versus being their friend, trying really hard to be their friend as well as be a mother. That's the fence you walk, which is important because you can't go too much on one side or the other." Leading by example. Oprah also asked, "How do you instill in your children what's important as a human being? As a citizen of the world, your community, when you've got everything?" Lisa Marie replied, "You have to be an example. I'm not somebody who sits around. I'm not happy unless I'm helping other people, and they watch me and they see that." Benjamin tried his hand at music. That same year, there were rumors that Benjamin was going to try and make it in the music industry just like his grandfather. In October 2009, the Daily Mail reported, "The slick-back hair, full lips, and rock star swagger are all present and correct. All Benjamin needs now is a pair of blue suede shoes." A record deal? The Daily Mail quoted Benjamin as saying that his music will be nothing like Elvis, nothing like him at all. An unnamed spokesman was reported to have said of the young man, "He's a typical 17-year-old. He doesn't get up before midday and then grunts at you." It was reported, too, that Benjamin's record deal was worth a whopping $5 million. Benjamin shied away from the limelight. Yet that turned out in the end to be a false story. That same month, the Daily Mirror reported that Peter Lofrumento, the executive vice president of the company Universal Music, had told the media, "This story is totally untrue." And indeed, no music by Benjamin, Elvis like or not, was ever released. But he did appear in a very intimate music video. A revealing clip. In 2012, Lisa Marie released a music video for the track "I Love You" because that featured footage of her parents and all of her children. Benjamin, who was 19 at the time, particularly caught people's eyes. In October of that year, CMT asked Lisa Marie about her son. "He looks so much like Elvis. Does he get that reaction a lot?" An Elvis look-alike. Lisa Marie answered with a laugh, "He does. He was at the Grand Ole Opry and was the quiet storm behind the stage. Everybody turned around and looked when he was over there. Everybody was grabbing him for a photo because it is just uncanny. Sometimes I am overwhelmed when I look at him." The family resemblance. And the family resemblance never went away. In June 2019, Lisa Marie posted an Instagram picture of herself and all 4 of her children, captioned "Mama Lion with Cubs." People were seemingly awestruck at how much Benjamin looked like Elvis. One commenter wrote, "Your son is almost a twin to your dad. Thanks for sharing this pic." A spitting image. Newsweek wrote of the snap, following a family picture posted Thursday by Elvis Presley's daughter, Lisa Presley. Twitter users had to do a double take after seeing her son, Benjamin, and declared that the young man looks to be a spitting image of his famous grandfather. Benjamin himself, however, said nothing about the viral pic, keeping a low profile. In fact, despite his family's fame, Benjamin kept a very low profile. He seemingly had no social media and gave no interviews. Over the years, he only really popped up on his mother's Instagram and in a 2005 documentary called Elvis by the Presleys. The only snippets about his life that people knew were mostly revealed by his mother or older sister. Gone too soon. Sadly, though, Benjamin never got the chance to show the world his full potential. On July 12, 2020, Benjamin died by suicide. At the time, Lisa Marie's manager, Roger Widenowski, shared that the mother was heartbroken, inconsolable, and beyond devastated. Lisa Marie would expand upon her overwhelming loss in an essay she wrote for People in 2022. A Mother's Love. She wrote, "My and my 3 daughters' lives as we knew it were completely detonated and destroyed by his death. We live in this every single day, but," she said, "she carried on because that's what Benjamin would have wanted. I keep going because my son made it very clear in his final moments that taking care of his little sisters and looking out for them were on the forefront of his concerns and his mind," she wrote. A pain too great to bear. the death still hurt her. 2. I've dealt with death, grief, and loss since the age of 9 years